Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's PreMarket Prep with your host, Joel Elconin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I'm bidding a penny. I will buy the stock for a penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this Friday edition of Benzinga's Pre-Market Prep. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin, Dennis Dick with you this morning. Got a lot to cover. Disney, of course. We had their investor day yesterday. They came out firing after the bell with the Disney Plus headlines. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about NEO. They had an offering. Pfizer, more news on that. Plus, they raised their dividend. Got some earnings on our radar. Got a couple of new SPACs on our radar. Our guest today is Jason Raznick. He'll be on at around 8:40, 8:45. So we'll try to cover some stocks from the chat before Jason comes on, so we get some ticker time in. Joel, how are we doing this morning? Because we got a lot to talk about, and we're going to hopefully get to all of it here. What's going on in the overnight markets?
We're in the red this morning, Spencer, by 24.5 handles. We were up a little bit. Pre-market highs, 74.75. Pre-market low, 28.25. So we are 15 points off that low, trying to get back to mid-range. You have crude in the green by 11 cents at 46.89. Gold basically unchanged, up 60 cents at 18.38 even. Silver, that's in the red by 11.4 cents at 23.98. And Bitcoin continues to repel off the $20 level. Bitcoin down $555 at 17,885. So much for a quiet Friday here, a week ahead of expiration, huh, Triple D?
Yeah, it's been a lot of action. I mean, last night you had this wicked reopening trade going on off the Pfizer news, and I was actually shocked by it, even tweeted about it, because it was obvious that the Pfizer vaccine that they were going to, that the advisory committee was going to say, obviously lean on the side of approval here, not fully approved yet, but the advisory committee last night gave the recommendation to approve it. So that was obvious to me, but then they started grabbing the reopening stocks and just ripping them all higher. I mean, you had airlines trade up 3-4% last night. I was like, how is this not priced in? I just kept asking myself, how is this not priced in? Well, apparently it all was, because it gave it all back this morning. So everybody who was just buying on the headline last night, the Pfizer headline, got their head ripped off, really, because you can come in and say, okay, yeah, some of these stocks are still trading higher, but they were trading a lot higher last night. So it was a weird market. It's a weird overnight move. Obviously, there's lots of individual headlines, lots of individual stories here. It's mixed again, though. The market is mixed. I'm seeing some stocks trading higher. Most are trading lower. But the wicked reopening trade that we had going last night came off while I was sleeping.
So here's the Pfizer news. It was from the advisory committee, which is really just a panel that gives a recommendation. The FDA doesn't have to follow it, but they usually do. And the votes were 17 yes, 4 no, 1 abstain on the question of, based on all the evidence available, do the benefits of the Pfizer BioNTech vaccine outweigh the risks for use in individuals 16 years of age and older? So overwhelmingly, they said yes, the benefits do outweigh the risks. So again, the market's looking past this. The market's assuming this is going to get approved. It probably will here imminently. It was already approved in overseas. Wasn't
Canada too?
Canada too, yeah. Okay, so market's looking past this. This was really a formality.
It wasn't looking past it last night, though. So, again, the simple trade was winning last night. So if you were just saying, oh, they're going to rip higher and they're going to rip Pfizer higher, I mean, there was some money made there. There was some money made last night because these stocks, again, were straight up for about 3 hours last night. The news coming out around 5 o'clock, and then they ripped Pfizer. They ripped BNTX up higher. I think BNTX trade up to 135. It's given it all back. So logic rules the day because, okay, we kind of knew this was going to happen. But last night, the traders who were trading last night were just ripping it on those headlines. So there was some money made last night if you were selling into that strength. With that being said, what now? So we've got the Pfizer vaccine. We've had wicked reopening rallies in a lot of stocks here. Is it time to start thinking about ringing the register? I mean, I was looking last night. You got Norwegian Cruise Lines. It's up 50% in the last 3 weeks. I mean, this is basically since our last in November, so 3-4 weeks ago. You got American Airlines trading up 52%. You got Save trading up 50%. I mean, you have JWN trading up 100% in the last month. It's up 100% in the last month. At what point in time is a lot of the reopening rally priced in? I'm asking you guys.
From what we saw last night, maybe not enough.
But then they've given it back overnight. So
Yeah.
that makes me think that, okay, people are looking to ring the register on these stocks now. I'm looking to ring the register. I have a few of these plays still on. I'm still in my NCLH. I kind of want to hold some because I like the barbell approach. And again, if you look at a stock like NCLH, it's $27. It was $50 when this started. So you're still buying at a significant discount from where it was. I don't know if it's going all the way back to 50 because I don't know if people are going back on cruises like they were prior to the pandemic. But at the same time, there's obviously still a gap there. But then you go and look at the hotel stocks and you look at like Hilton, and we've talked about that in a JWN. A lot of these stocks have come, Kohl's is almost right back to where it was when the pandemic started, $40. I mean, I feel like the easy money's been made on the reopening stocks now, and it was made back when we had that, the initial Pfizer spike, and then they pulled back 3 days later. That was the time to buy back on November 12th. We've been straight up for a month on these stocks. IWM, we know, was trading up 22%, I believe, in the month of November, which is probably one of the biggest up monthly moves for IWM in the history of the IWM. I mean, at what point in time is this all priced in?
Well, you could do one of two things. You can, if you got a target, take the target, right? If not, you just do something comfortable. You won't get out on the crest, but you can move a trailing or mental stop on. So you're not trying to pick the top. I always like to go to, see kind of levels, some kind of correspondence with daily, weekly, or monthlies. Just for example, this Pfizer, it popped to 43 the other day. Where did we get in the after hours pop? We got to 43. So, wait, just wait. Move. If you have a target, take a target or take, part of the position off. But I don't know. I mean, how long is it going to take for the vaccines, for the earnings to recover? As would be my only question, but the street doesn't.
The market doesn't care about earnings, though. You're in a market that just, Disney is the poster child for this.
Wow.
I'm on the record saying I think Disney's going to go to 200. I was on the record saying that a little while ago. You just got to think about the news flow. I've missed this trade. I wanted to get back in after the earnings gap up day on November the 9th, and this is where we're segueing into the Disney, which is going to be the story stock of the day. After, we had the gap up on the earnings, I was hoping we would pull back. I was hoping we'd fill the gap. I wanted to buy it at 130. I talked about it on the show when I was trading like 137, 138. I was like, I want this back at 130 because I'm actually going to buy it. And I didn't get it. And now it's 166. And I've obviously missed the trade completely. This is a stock I was very scared of for a long time, but you could tell, a month ago that, okay, they were giving, the Disney Plus is where they're going. And then once we had the news of the Pfizer vaccine, this was a reopening play. And you got to think going forward here, Disney is not firing on all cylinders right now. It's arguably one of the worst environments it's been for Disney, ever, to have the parks closed. And the stock's at all-time highs. What's that telling you? It's not telling you that the market isn't logical. It's telling you that the market is completely looking past it. And I think I agree with it, because think about this. If Disney does get the parks reopened, if we get the vaccine, there's going to be travel. People are going to go back to Disney World. They'll get that all firing again. They'll put the dividend in again. We got the Disney Plus, which is all the news from last night, which is propelling it. They have that firing on all cylinders, talking about Marvel and Star Wars. I mean, there's a lot of money in predicting news flow, predicting news headlines. What do you think is going to happen? I look at my own individual strategy. I do a lot of arbitrage. I do a lot of information arbitrage where I'm looking and trying to predict where the next headline is, what is it going to be. Think about Disney. You're going to probably have next year a dividend reinstatement. If we get this is assuming the vaccine, everybody gets vaccinated, but you're probably going to have a dividend reinstatement. You're going to have the parks reopening. You're going to have, Disney Plus coming out with more stuff, and they're selling movies for $29 like Mulan. I mean, the news flow for Disney, assuming this all assumes that the vaccine works and we actually start going back to somewhat of a normal life in 2021. But if we assume that, I think Disney is easily a $200 stock. So I'm going to be a buyer of pullbacks because I'm a believer that the vaccine is going to work, that people are going to take it, and we're going to get past this pandemic in the second half of 2021. Now, again, vaccine fails, all that scenario comes off the table. But right now, with the information we currently have, I can't see how you can be bearish Disney, even though at this current time, Disney is definitely not firing on all cylinders.
Look, we all know that Wall Street loves growth. If you can sell investors on a growth story, say, hey, we're growing on even if it's just one part of your business, if you can sell them on that growth story, they will eat you up. And that's what's happening here. So let me give you some numbers here from Disney Plus from what they said yesterday. So if we go back to last year's, Disney Plus is about 1 year old, right? They launched in November last year. So you can say from that point that they were 11 years behind Netflix. Netflix had a 13-year head start, right? Netflix launched their streaming in 2007. Disney Plus launched 12-year head start. Okay, 12-year head start. Disney Plus now is 86 million subscribers, which is exactly what Netflix had 4 years ago. So they basically gained 8 years of growth on Netflix in 1 year, right? They're 2/3 of the way there in 1 year. They guided 230 million to 260 million subscribers by 2024. That's, of course, more than what any one subscriber, any platform has now. And if you look at the chart of Netflix subscriber growth, look at Disney subscriber growth, obviously Netflix has way more subscribers, but they're not growing as much. Disney is growing because they're newer. And so they love that growth. They love the 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, right? It's what it comes out to. That plus all the new content, the 10 new Marvel series, 10 new Star Wars series, new live action, new Pixar, all that stuff. They're selling investors on that story right now. It's working. It's working, right? They went from 0 to 86 million in about 13 months. Okay. So they're only 4 years behind Netflix at this point in terms of total subscribers, and they're guiding that they're going to essentially catch up in a couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, and you look at, the content, and Netflix has a lot more content, but if Disney starts to pump money into production, like they're talking 10 Marvel series, 10 Star Wars series, I watched that Mandalorian. It's awesome.
It's great.
Like, it's awesome. Like, it's better than most things you will get on Netflix. Netflix puts out the bulk of content, and they have some really good shows, some really good stuff. Ozark, love it. I would tell you Disney is still the king of content. And if they decide that we are going to start to pump all of our money, get the parks back open, and they start making money again, and they start being a cash cow for this Disney Plus, it could be like the perfect storm. With that being said, stock's up $10 today. I'm not buying it up to $11. But I want to own it. I want to own Disney. I think it's going to 200. Maybe it's going to go straight there. Maybe you got to chase this one, but I don't chase. I think maybe there will be a vaccine hiccup. Maybe there'll be something, to get this reopening trade to come off a little bit. And maybe that's when you strike. But it goes on the watch list, and you get, those days where, okay, the market's correcting. What am I going to buy? Disney would be on my shopping list. So I would put Disney on the shopping list, not buying on a day that it's up 12 points. I hope I don't miss it. If I miss a trade, I miss the trade. You can't get them all. So if it goes straight up to 200 from here, I will miss it. But I will, try to get back in on dips because I believe in the story here now in Disney. I believe we're getting past the pandemic. We know that. I talked about this a month ago on November 12th when I got all bullish the reopening stocks and everybody gave me heat for it. I mean, that ended up turning out to be the bottom. And a lot of these stocks are up 40, 50%. I bought Norwegian that day, and I bought American Airlines, I bought Save, and I bought Win. I looked at my portfolio, I wanted to puke looking at all these stocks. But at the same time, they all worked. And this is, this one I wish would have went in there on November 12th. Obviously, we had the pullback there, and the stock was $135. I wish this would have been one of them, but it wasn't. I still think that I'm going to get another chance eventually, but now I'm a believer in the Disney turnaround story here.
So you should be rooting for them to come out in like March and say, "Oh, we're delaying our reopening by like 6 months." That's what you should be rooting. That's what.
Yeah. Well, I think there'll be another. I don't think we're going to go reopen and everything's just going to. There's going to be some more scares. I mean, 3,100 people are dying a day here.
Yeah.
So give it some perspective. I mean, there's still going to be some ugliness ahead of us. That is going to be. You're going to have another opportunity. I believe you're going to have another opportunity in Disney to get in.
Two
I
numbers.
want to be in
I'm gonna
because
go
I
two
think in
numbers.
2021, this is well over a $200 stock. So if you're buying today, I think you make money. I'm just trying, you know how I work. I buy dips. I don't buy rips. I'm not buying up 12 points. But when they're throwing this much of content at it and you get those parks back open, the potential news flow for the parks open, the dividend reinstatement, and Disney Plus coming out with more subscribers and stuff, it's got the story going. And Mitch, we know, we talk, it's the story. And you know what? Disney's story is hot again.
Two numbers. One on the upside, that pre-market high, 168. If you're looking for just a short-term target today and you want to see continued follow through, keep an eye on 168. And then you just had a little dip. If you want to, if you're brave and you want to buy the dip today, coming off that 168, you almost got to 164, that 164. But I'll call that a minor support area, and as well as that 168 resistance. Who knows? I mean, whoever's short, whoever didn't throw in the towel on this one, I'm being short. I don't know if there's a big short interest in this one, but just keep an eye on those two levels. If you got the weekly calls, I'd really focus on that 168 and see what premium they're applying to those calls, because if you have a 160 call and they open this thing up at $12 or something, that's an implied selling price of 172. Beyond that, if you have higher targets, then sit back and wait, see how it trades today.
Everything changed for all of these stocks, these reopening stocks, and it was the November 9th when the Pfizer came out that Monday morning with the positive vaccine news. Everything changed at that moment in time, and that's where my sentiment.
But not in the overall market. The rotation from there, but in the overall market, we are still basically at the Pfizer vaccine Monday level.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's all about rotation. I mean, you went from tech being everything. That's all that mattered in 2020 to these reopening stocks. It all changed on vaccine Monday. And then you had the 3-4 days were pulled back after that. And that was the time to strike on all of these stocks. So, I mean, it's all about sector rotation. I mean, you can talk about information flow. You can talk about arbitrage. The number one way you make money is identifying the rotation. And there's rotation every single day. It's not like, oh, where are we rotating into the next month? I'm trying to look where are we rotating in the next 10 minutes. What am I seeing? What patterns am I seeing? People like to talk about how I trade. I trade by looking at patterns. I've got everything on my screen. Where is the money rotating into today? Well, right now I'm seeing most of the money actually just rotate out of stocks. I'm looking, I don't see much trading in the green. Last night was clearly reopening stocks though. So today that trade came off, but at least this morning it's coming back off. Does it start going back on again? It could, but just identifying that rotation and then picking up the laggards that haven't went yet is the way I've made money for 20 years. So the rotation all changed that day. We went from Levener, Zooms, and Pelotons. If you look at Zoom, since November the 11th, it is down. If you look at Peloton, since November the 11th, it's up a little bit here, which is an anomaly because a lot of these other stocks are not up. DocuSign is kind of around the same price too. So in any regard here, we look at this and it's all about rotation. It all changed on Vaccine Monday, and until I get more information, that's where we're at.
Yep.
Just to put a bow on,
I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, just to put a bow on this Disney point is the one thing that I thought about when I saw those numbers last night was, look, it's becoming very obvious now that the battle for supremacy in streaming is going to be between Netflix and Disney, and who's the odd man out right now? It's AT&T, and now HBO is a small part of their business, but HBO Max is now 7 months old, about 7 months old, and they've got 12 million subscribers. So they're not even in the same ballpark as Disney right now. And so that, I know they got a lot more going on than just streaming, but there was a really good article last weekend in CNBC just about the dysfunction at AT&T and how they've kind of bungled the HBO Max rollout. And it's down this morning, and so that was one of the first things I thought about was, man, AT&T and HBO Max, they got a lot of great content. I love HBO Max for their content, but they have bungled the crap out of this rollout, and they are falling so far behind.
What got into AT&T the last 2 days? 29, almost 32. I mean, they give it back yesterday. Did they have any news? Is there anything?
I don't actually know.
That's actually,
yeah, there is a totally. how infrequently I look at AT&T.
Yeah,
They looks like they received a couple bids for their for DirecTV, which speaking of bungling things,
one bid would be good. Wow, I didn't see that. What a pop!
was-
That's very unusual move in AT&T.
Hey, I got a question on AT&T, and I actually wrote this on my watch list now. So we're all hot for streaming. Like the EV trade was the trade of second half of 2020. I think the streaming trade is going to be the trade coming for us. Be like streaming. So you got Comcast with Peacock. You got AT&T with HBO Max or whatever it is. Is that what it's called?
So that's what I just said, but you stepped away, so you probably missed it.
All right, so I missed that. So question is.
He comes back right in beat. You're unbelievable.
No, the question is, you got a 6.82%. I've hated AT&T forever. I sold it actually around this price. I almost feel like rebuying it because if they're going to be stupid and start giving premiums to every streaming service here. Well, I mean, the problem with AT&T is all their other businesses suck. I mean, that's what I was just saying.
That's what I was just saying, though. It's becoming obvious now that at least based on the first 6 months, AT&T and HBO Max is falling very far behind the race. Like Disney is catching up to Netflix, and HBO Max is not. They're nowhere near.
Maybe they're just to stay away from them. Or is there a catch-up trade here or no?
They have 12.5 million subscribers in 6 months. They are so far behind Disney. I mean,
the company just cannot get it together.
It's weird because we have Comcast, we have Netflix, and then Lisa wanted to watch this show on HBO Max, and
you probably couldn't, right?
Actually, she got it because we have AT&T.
Okay, so yeah,
for our phone service, we have a house line. Don't ask me why. They threw that in, so through her iPad. On our TV, we got a really smart TV. We were able to watch it, and I don't know if they're going to hit us up later for some kind of, but it's confusing as hell. So I think just maybe go with the blanket approach that Dennis is talking about. Just buy all the streamers.
I just don't know if you're going to start getting if that story gets hot, and I believe it will in 2021. We're all talking about predicting news flow. I am saying, and it's not a bold call, that they're going to be talking a lot about streaming in 2021. So you got Disney, you got Netflix, who are going to be the top two. How's Peacock? Does anybody use Peacock? Comcast.
It's so early. But the thing with the HBO is it wasn't available on Roku, it wasn't available on Amazon. The launch was bungled. They have all these brands. It was confusing, like HBO Max, HBO Go, HBO Now. Peacock is too young, I think. I don't know what kind of data we have on that.
Well, we like them young because then they grow. Mitch just popped in. He's about the story.
He's a young streamer.
Here. Christmas tree. He's a streamer on his Christmas tree in the back. Look at the streamers all running on his Christmas tree. Mitch, talk to me about the streaming story.
Dennis, I had already talked to you about it. You got FUBU, remember?
Oh, I know. That's a good one. I'm still in it. When do I sell at? I just hold on to that.
All right.
Love the FUBU.
So like always, I'd like to bring you guys a story that I'm looking at. I'm actually looking at a different play in the streaming services.
I got my pen ready. Look at this. I love Mitch's calls.
What I'm going to look for is MGNI and TTD.
What's the other one?
And TTD.
Oh, the trade
desk.
Oh,
so these are two that are making moves in programmatic ad tools. Ooh. So one of the things with
could you explain that? What that
Holy
is?
Mackerel!
That's like how many syllables?
We need a PhD to understand Mitch here.
So one of the things that you're going to see with the streaming services is how do they get the ads to you? Because one of the biggest things that you're seeing in streaming is now, how am I going to go ahead and personalize these ads for the viewer that's watching? So I think you really got to watch for these companies. Which one is the leader? I really haven't done that much research, so I'm going to go ahead and do that for you guys. But I think these two plays, you got to keep an eye out and then look for other plays in the programmatic ad space for streaming.
Wow, that's an awesome. And again, obviously, there's been some people on this trade because November MGNI was 10, it's now 20. But maybe this goes on the watch for, the pullback. I mean, this is about what markets are about, in my opinion. You get your list of stocks, your Christmas shopping list.
Ooh, I like it.
And then you wait for, the market correction. You wait for, where everybody's like, okay, I want the hell out of this thing. And then you strike with your list. So Mitch is giving you a couple stocks that's on his Christmas shopping list, MGNI and TTD. Maybe they just run straight up. Maybe you miss them. You know what? There's always another trade. And that's what a lot of traders, newer traders, really struggle with. I see it all the time. I missed this trade, and they focus on it, and it's eating up their mental capital. Not even that they lost money, but that they missed this trade that they knew about. And once you're a seasoned trader, you'll be able to look past that and say, you know what, I missed that one. There'll be another one tomorrow, because there's always another trade. So again, I don't like chasing stuff because I don't like getting burned. I like to swing at the softballs up the middle. So he's given you a couple of stocks here. Now it's about timing them. And when they're straight up 100% a month, I can't chase like that. Maybe it goes up to 30 MGNI, goes straight up, and then I just miss it. But if we get a pullback here, 50% retracement, maybe something like that. You like the story. Obviously, I've just heard of the stock for the first time here 2 minutes ago. But you do your homework and you take a look, and then you go from there. But Trade Desk we know about. We've talked about that story. Wow. And that's been a storied stock of 2020. It's been an absolute monster. Valuations crazy too. But these are two storied stocks that could continue into 2021. So we always appreciate the ideas from our good friend Mitch.
Trade Desk, TTD. I don't even know what to say about this one. It's looking like it's trying to break out again. Trade Web. I don't know if that falls into that category. But you got two lows in the same area, and not really two highs in the same area. Just let's get through that high on Wednesday and then take a shot at that old time high. And that old time high is just under $70. But you know who the big winner in the streaming wars is going to be?
No.
Disney.
No. Whoever picks up pre-market prep.
There we go. Okay. Joel, real fast. TradeWeb, TW. That's a capital markets firm. That's like
bad. My bad.
Just because they have a similar name doesn't mean they're a similar business.
Yeah. And the Trade Desk, it does advertising for everybody essentially. They're like the pipes of the advertising world.
Love the ideas. Mitch looks like he wants to say something else. He's right there.
Go ahead, Mitcher.
One of the things is, Dennis, you were talking about it, and I have a quote that I like to live by, is that I don't let one stock make me or one stock break me. And I think that's an important thing to live by.
I think so too, because I follow that model because I stay diversified, not only my investment portfolio, but my trading portfolio. I throw a couple percent in this one, 1% in this one, 1%. And I mean, Kramer says you diversify with 5 stocks. I don't think you are, because you might be like, he does that. Am I diversified? And he says you can do it with 5 stocks. You know what? I disagree with that. It's too few. Because you know what? If you got 20% of your money in one stock and all of a sudden you picked a bad one, I don't like losing 20% of my capital. So, I mean, maybe if you're buying all blue chips, maybe it works, but I like to play some specs. I like to play some SPACs. I like to play the big guns like Amazon, Apple. So I throw a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit everywhere. And you know what? I get crushed in a stock every once in a while in my long-term portfolio. Every year I do some write-offs at the end of the year because, okay, well, this idea didn't work. But you know what? It's about the overall portfolio. And I think, if you're looking at different ideas, you're taking on some risk here, maybe playing some conservative plays over there, barbell approach, whatever you want to call it, but don't let one trade. What was the saying you just said, Mitch? It was good. Say it again. So show the coffee cup again, too. What's the coffee?
Don't let one trade make you or break you.
Stay diversified in that trading portfolio.
Yeah, at least 2 or 3. And what is that cup? Is that Santa Claus on there?
At least 2 or 3. Yes.
He's like broadcasting from like the North
Pole.
He's got, I know. He's got the Christmas tree going. And telling you, Mitch, I think I sent out a Christmas card. Should just be Mitch right there. Right like that. With the streamers going on in the back, the Christmas tree, the Santa Claus club. I'm so relaxed just watching Mitch. I'm hyper all the time and he relaxes me. It's like therapeutic, man.
Second day of Hanukkah too. I forgot to mention that.
Hit that like button for Hanukkah.
That's a Hanukkah bush, Dennis.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, that's not a Christmas.
What's the hell? What's the difference between a Hanukkah bush and a Christmas tree? That looks like a Christmas.
Absolutely
He's lying.
Nothing.
Is there any difference? What's your Hanukkah? I'm not Jewish. What's your Hanukkah bush looks like? Do you have a difference?
It's what the little Jewish kids get when they're like,
how is it different than a Christmas tree, though? It looks the same and just call it a Hanukkah bush?
Oh,
there's a Jewish star on the top of it instead of
I've never actually seen a Hanukkah bush.
You never heard of that?
No, I've heard of it. I've never actually seen one in real life. That's all right.
You didn't bug your dad enough when you were a kid.
I guess not. Or
I was good at that. It was just the Chinese water torture approach. Drip, 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 and then he eventually give in, and then.
All right. 8:30 here. We're gonna have Jason Raznick on in about 10 or 15 minutes. Let's do some more stocks. Let's do NEO here. Yeah. They are joining the the crowd of EV companies with offerings.
Yeah.
They are joining. Let's see. Tesla had theirs. XPEV had theirs. Li had theirs. And now NIO announced a 60 million share offering last night.
Price.
Usually takes a day.
Won't see a price yet.
Usually takes a day. We got the SE offering price last night, 195. It's usually the next day. So we'll see if we get it tonight. Not usually during the day. It's usually after hours. So we'll probably find out tonight. And that's important. It's important where they can get this done. Is there enough demand they can get this done, or are they going to go way down the hole? Because that number acts like a magnet to the stock price often. The EV story has cooled off significantly. We know that. It has the potential to get hot again, though. So I'm not going to say these stocks are dead. I will say the offering price is very important. Also, the 38.43 price from December 2nd is very important. As long as it can hold those levels, you still got the argument, but you got an ugly head and shoulders pattern for me.
I know, man.
Not that we're pattern traders,
stock.
but that one is biting me in the nose.
This is a tough one. I've tried to catch it on the downside a few times, and gives you a little bit of daylight, and then it takes off. I don't think there's any major damage going on in this thing until you take out this level here. You had that 38 low a couple weeks ago, and then you bounced off that 38. I swore to myself I was gonna short it when it got to 47.5, and because it was half of this move, and it was just quick. I didn't keep an eye on it. And what I'm referring to is right here, this move right here. It was right around 47.5. So if you want to project this move, this was from 50. This was like a 21 point move. Man, you take 21 points off 47. Ooh, you're way down there. But first things first, taking out that support at 38. S&P's just kind of hanging out here. They don't know what to do today.
No.
We're hanging out.
They're confused and I'm confused. Last night I felt pretty good. I was like, okay, we got a reopening trade going on. And then I come in this morning, they sold everything off. The reopening stocks are down too. And I was like, okay, we got to sell everything market going on. Now they're just mixed. There's a few reopening stocks that are starting to show some life. It's a confused market today, and I'm confused as well.
Yeah. I do like that chart, though. I'm going to keep those levels up there on this one, and we'll keep an eye on this.
That's an important level for it. I'm going to give you that. Obviously, the important thing is tonight, what's the pricing going to be? I never buy the stock before I know the price because you're buying on information that you don't know. So just randomly coming in and buying 42.5. What if they price the thing at 38? It's going to be 39 in your face. What if they price at 42? Okay, maybe you'll be happy at 42.5. But more often than not, it's hard because they're still trying to work the pricing in. So as the stock price comes lower, who's buying this thing at 43 when you can buy it at 42.5 in the open market? So they probably can't get her down at 43 now because the bloody thing's trading 42.5.
Where would you take stock at? If your broker calls you.
I'm not taking a 43. They're calling up, hey, you want to buy NIO at 43? We're trying to get this thing done here.
How about 42.5?
I'll buy it in the open market. No, thank you. That's why it usually gets done below the price. That's why you can't just jump in and say, oh, I'll buy 42.5. It's probably going to be lower than this price. So there's an arbitrage strategy to sell it before that offering price because it usually is below where the current market price is. That's how they get these things done.
All right.
So coming in NIO today, I believe you are early. But I mean, but if you have a turnaround Friday and we rip up hard and we start ripping on all the EV stocks, it goes to 48, then they could get it down to 45. So there is market effects here too. But other things being equal, market stays still, NIO stays still. The offering price probably lower than 42.5.
All right, we had a bunch of earnings last night, and the moves have been relatively muted. I guess let's start with ORCL because that was the one that seemed like it was the most volatile of the big names last night. They had an EPS beat and a sales beat, and that one actually moved a little bit. Unlike Costco, LULU didn't look like they moved too much, but this one moved. It's up here this morning.
ORCL. I mean, here's the stock that just doesn't go anywhere. I've had this one in the portfolio since like $9, and it is just through for years here. I feel like we've been around 50 to 60 for years. You think about how much market movement, market volatility has been here, and ORCL just sits here and doesn't go anywhere. I mean, they were you think about, how much ORCL really missed, they were part of CRM originally, remember? I mean, Benioff and stuff. I mean, this could have been the cloud stock. It really could have been. And they missed it. And now you look at it and it's okay. It's been good. It's held on. It does its thing. It pays you your 1.5% dividend. But I just can't get excited about Oracle. Where's the story for Oracle? Why are we all going to plow into Oracle here in 2021? So I own this, had it, like I said, for a lot of years. It's a cash cow stock. I don't see a story. I don't see growth. I don't think this thing's going to like 70 or 80. I don't think it's going to 40 or 50. It just kind of hangs out. So if I wasn't in for $9, I'd probably sell and move on. I just don't want to pay the tax.
59. I'll keep an eye on that. You had a close. It looks like you had a close right there on Tuesday, low on Thursday right there. Or close on Tuesday, low on Wednesday, almost a low on Thursday. So above $59, it's okay. I mean, they got this thing, the TikTok excitement. I mean, you really couldn't have made money. You could have made a little coin shorting it during that hysteria.
There's always just seems
it
like
just looks like a head and shoulder. I don't know. I'll stick with you on this one. Below 59, there's some good. They're downside to 58. Good resistance at 60.
All right, you want a story? I can spin you a story. I can spin you a story in LULU a little bit. This night they beat on the top and the bottom line. They say that comps increased 19% year over year in the third quarter. The story here is everyone's been stuck at home all year and not going to the gym. And as soon as we get the ability to do so, everyone's going to rush out and buy workout clothes and start working out again. So there's my story.
Who the hell bought this at 390 on the number? Did that really tick 390? Is that a bad tick or is that for real? I saw it go up. I didn't know when it's high as 390. Can we go and see what? Yeah, look, he brings up the data window here. Let's just see what the quotes look like. You show us that because right on the number, right after 4 o'clock, obviously we're looking at. It looks like in that
Dennis, you would have gotten down and dirty in that.
People
a lot of volume
paid up
traded.
24 points for Lululemon's earnings. I have nothing more to say. If you're doing that, you're not listening to pre-market prep. I mean, the story has been in Lululemon. This wasn't going to all of a sudden and then it's right up near that high. Oh man. Anyways, it's down here. This is probably they probably had a good report, I assume, because the algo bought it. You just gave us the numbers. Pretty solid report.
Yeah.
There's too much good news priced in. The story, this Lululemon is priced for perfection. It's been priced for perfection for a long time. Is the story going to cool off? I don't know, but you just can't jump in just because it's got a good report. When these stocks are priced for perfection, they typically, don't go up as much as you'd hope they would.
You want a Lululemon story?
Sure.
I bought Lisa some gifts there in January, and then she had to return some of the stuff. And I bought a pair of pants. She really said, "Oh, you should get these." I haven't worn them since January, and I want to return them, but I haven't gone to the store yet. You think they'll still take them back?
Yeah, they will.
Okay.
I would bet they will.
I would keep an eye on 360. And the reason is because you topped out at 360 for a while. Then you had 2 lows right in that area. So above 360, I think, still leaning to the long side. If you breach 360, close below 360, I think you got some work to do on the downside.
All right. We could go Costco here, or we can go to the chat. Costco was pretty quiet. I mean, we already got their sales numbers for November, and they were good. But they weren't good enough for Wall Street, apparently. The report last night was good on the top line. And
all the good news is priced in all these stocks. Lululemon's, the Costco's. I don't know how does the story get better for Costco? I mean, they're firing on all cylinders. It's been the year for bulking up and loading up your, pantry. I mean, this year could not have been better for stocks like Costco. So I look at 2021 and I can't see how it gets better in 2020 unless the vaccine fails and we all go back into lockdown, then it's okay. So that's the scenario where Costco can actually be okay. So this is actually a lockdown stock now. I think we're still going reopening. So you're going to have some pops. It's still an awesome company, but it's been a great run for Costco in 2020. It's went from, the 300 area up to 372 in the last 6 months, which is a big move for a company of Costco's size. And maybe it's time to cool off a bit.
News alert. They're bringing samples back.
Hey,
Yeah, the person stands behind a shield, and I don't know. I'm
No,
I'm not
I was
touching them.
there.
I'm just telling you.
I was there 3 weeks ago, and they had the samples, and but you can only look.
Oh, really? Was it just
What?
look?
It was for look.
Maybe.
What? You can
Oh
only
no.
look. What the hell is this?
I said I'm not. I just said pass. We just went right by there. And I said this yesterday. I know you breached it just by a tad in the after hours. That 370 just looks interesting. You would have thrown a bid out there. You would have gotten hit and a little bit of a bounce, but just a bunch of lows here since since the middle of November. So keep an eye on 370. That's a support area I like. If it somehow rallies close to 380 today, I think you find mounds of sellers. Tight range yesterday. If you are playing from alongside, certainly don't want to see it go red on the session.
All right, got a nice variety of tickers from our chat. Let's go to a few of them. What about
Sure.
Crown Castle, CCI?
CCI.
Upgraded this morning from Deutsche Bank to buy, giving it $180 price target. Been very quiet these past few months.
Yeah, tower stocks.
Tower. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
This is your cell towers. CCI. What is this?
Like, there are like three of these.
There's three of them. There's like CCI,
American, right?
American.
Well, what's the one? What's that one?
What's the other one? There's the other one too. There's three of them.
Yeah, CCI, American,
AMT.
Oh, that's American.
Oh, that is American.
Oh man, buddy of mine told me about.
Come on, chat. We're struggling here. AMT, CCI. What's the other one? There's three of them. Anyways, okay. Well, these things just kind of hang out. They're 3.3% dividend. They don't do a hell of a lot. I mean, they're paying you a 3% dividend. I don't know. Am I getting excited about cell towers? Not really.
This one is really shaping up here for a move one way or another. I guess you could have said that for the past 5 months, but
they just don't move because they're dividend plays.
Yeah. Okay. Too. Monthly highs and lows. Yeah. I mean, you got all these lows and at 154, 155. So, and all those highs at 170. So tradeyourrange.com.
SBAC. Thank you, Peter, in the chat. SBAC is the other one.
Okay. All right. But that was CCI. What about oil?
CCI looks like, I'm just telling you, CCI looks like it's getting ready to break down to me. That's just my opinion. I don't know how far we're going to go, but I just looked at that other chart. That other chart broke down. This is leaning on some monthly lows. So
I'm not getting that excited about cell towers. That's all.
Okay, go move. All right. So what was the next one? What was the next one?
I mean, Airbnb.
Oh,
it's worth more. So we thought 68. I was like, if DoorDash is worth 60 billion, this is worth. I said it could be worth 100 billion, and lo and behold, that's where they take it to. I thought it was going to open over 100. I didn't think it's going to open up at 150 or whatever the hell it opened at. Now it's 140. I mean, the stock is worth more than every other major hotel chain that's out there, and to the tune of like twice as much. It's worth more than Booking. It's worth more than Expedia. I mean, it's an app. Let's be honest here. Airbnb is an app. It's an awesome app. Those people are geniuses. But come on, $100 billion? I can't even. At 1999. Can't even fathom how it's worth that. That's my thoughts.
Yeah. All-time high, all-time low. Mark down that closing price from yesterday, and I'm not even going to give you the high and the low. See what happens. See if you can go green on the session. Sure, some people got stuck just buying this, willy-nilly right off that first 15 minutes. They got real stupid. Then the second 15 minutes, they wisened up. But just keep an eye on that close. That close from yesterday. 144.71. And then what were the two IPOs from the day before? It was DoorDash, right?
Dash and AI were the two from Wednesday.
Yeah. How did volume in Dash go? Spencer, you pointed that out.
Yeah, I felt
that the volume kind of waned, and that's not what you want to see in an IPO. You want to see people just piling into this thing.
Wow.
Yeah. Volume was down. We'll see. And then AI, I just want to see what the volume did. Oh, the volume held in there good. So just from a volume perspective, but we got to give it some time to shake out in those stocks, right, Dennis?
Yeah, I'm not interested in trading this at all right now. I mean, the valuation's insane, but we know Story can carry a stock there. I need more information. It's too early. I don't even have it added to my filters yet. That's how much I don't want to trade it right now.
Let's do one more, and then we'll bring on Jason Raznick.
Sure.
Let's look at AMD. This is one from earlier in the show.
Long the stock, long the call spread. I've said it. I think it's going to $100 by the end of the year. I'm gonna stick to that. I think it's still going to $100 by the end of the year. I know it's been chopping around and obviously market dependent here, but if we get a Santa Claus rally, AMD is going to participate in that, in my opinion. So I'm sticking with AMD. I'm long it from 85, and I'm long the call spread since like 80, but I feel like I'm hardly up in it. But I'm actually starting to get up in it now because it's starting to run out of time.
Juicy.
Yeah, it's starting to run out of time. So these things start to trade like the stocks. Now I've got the 8100. So basically, just looking at that 20 points there on my call spread, trying to get it if it closes above 100 on the day.
You'll get frustrated. You'll get frustrated if it gets up to like the 97, 98. It will
I get frustrated when it's at 100 and it's not worth $20.
No, it won't. It won't.
Why not?
It won't. It's I'm like, I did that one.
That's why I bought the stock. I got sick of watching my call spread not go up enough. I was like flat out buying the stock because at least I know when the stock goes to 100 and I buy it at 85 and make 15 points. I'm an equities trader. I'm not an options guy.
Keep an eye on 89, folks. Parallels in the same area. 89.16, 89.03. Still $2 above that. So you got a double bottom on the top. I can't really tell you much about yesterday's high, but someone's working out a piece at 95, not the all-time high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 highs in a row besides yesterday. Between 94.58 and 95 even. Someone's working out of some stock there ahead of the all-time high.
All right. I'm for some reason having a hard time getting Jason. Jason's here, but the Zoom is being buggy for the moment. So let's keep going while I get. Oh, there he is. Okay. I'm going to bring on Jason Raznick right now. He is the founder and CEO of Benzinga. Jason, good morning.
Good morning, Spencer Israel, Joe Elconin, and Dennis Dick. Last night, I had an exciting show I was watching. You guys may have been watching All-Americans. You may have been watching the New England Patriots. Me and my son, Josh Raznick, we rewatched half of Joe Elconin's interview on A Trader's Journey. It is a good show. It is a good show about his dad, the horse racing, how he bet, how he got into it, the oldie discount. Joel, have you rewatched it at all?
I haven't watched it.
He hasn't watched his own show. Go watch your show, Joel.
No, they need to make one change to it. Don't watch it yet, Joel. They need to make one change. I found Josh Raznick found an error, and I sent the screenshot to Luke and a few others, and none of them could catch the error, but Josh Raznick caught the error.
He's sure kid.
What's the error?
He really did. I don't know if I want to say the error because Joel will be mad. I'll say it. You want me to say it?
Yeah.
There's a misspelling.
There's a misspelling on his name?
You can't tell. It's so hard to tell. Literally, I sent it to Luke, I sent it to Mitch, I sent it to Ryan Faluna. They hit 5, 6 other guesses, and they finally caught it. They misspelled. I think Mitch misspelled or the last name. One letter got moved, and it's hard to see. And we were watching him on the big screen, so you can watch YouTube now on your TVs. And so we were watching it, and Josh Raznick after 6 minutes goes, "Yeah, this is kind of boring. We got to move on," because Joel's talking stocks and stuff. He wasn't talking about swimming and fun stories, But
he wanted the stories.
Josh is a great kid, man.
He wanted pranks, but he heard Joel's voice. Yeah, we got to watch this. I'm like, okay, yeah, we'll watch it. So we watched it. Joel, and guys, if you haven't listened to it, please don't walk and listen to it. Joel gets a little emotional. He talks about his dad. I love that moment when he talks about the horse, how he learned about the horses. I learned a lot of stuff about Joel. I had a newfound respect hearing him get emotional and not be afraid to get emotional. Unless you didn't get emotional, you're just losing your voice. I don't know, but I really.
When are we getting the Jason Raznick Trader's Journey?
I don't know.
Get on there, man. I want to hear the Jason Raznick story.
Dennis, I did do a company history one very recently. So, okay, are the guys gonna get mad in the room that I'm talking Narshka right now and not, going to stocks?
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's
Narshka?
all right. Yeah, I know. I got it, Joel. When I said it, I'm like, only Joel's in the yeah. Okay. So
I said Michigas on this show.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
So Yiddish words for 100, Alex. Can I get Yiddish words for Alex? All right. I got to go to these trades because it's going to take me a little bit. So I was freaking active. I didn't trade ahead. We had this small cap conference, the Benzinga small cap conference, and it was fun. So I did the pre-interview with the CEO of FUV, and he was smart. He gets it, but I didn't trade ahead of it. Like I didn't know anything inside, but I didn't want to buy it ahead. I waited till he went live on the show on the thing. I bought it a couple minutes after, a couple thousand shares, and I'm looking at my buys. I bought it for $12.92, and then sold some for third. What? Yeah, FUV.
Yeah.
I bought call options and the stock, and sold it for like $13.80 right after. And so I don't own FUV, or maybe I own a little bit, but not much.
What's the story with this one? I actually like the chart on this. I like the chart on this.
So basically, it's a three-wheeler EV play. It's a cool thing. He's doing the cars with Sandy Monroe. Sandy Monroe is a guy in Auburn Hills, Michigan. He's probably one of the smartest guys when it comes to car parts. He's the one that probably drove up Tesla stock from like a few months, like 6 months ago, because he's like Tesla. He came up with the word Tesla's the only car company that doesn't just go build a car. They're a progressive car. Like they're always upbuilding. They're always making significant updates to their car. No other car company can do that. So about 8 months ago, this video that he did moved Tesla stock by 15%. Sandy Monroe is a partner in this FUV company. So it gives it a lot of credibility. The CEO is on. I just, when I thought people would hear about it, they would want to buy it. And again, like Dennis, I look for catalysts. So him being on the show was definitely a catalyst. Is it going to go rise to 20? It could. Now, what they're trying to say is this, like DoorDashes and stuff. DoorDash isn't that good for retailers, for restaurants. DoorDash eventually looks at the marketplace and says, all right, we're ordering 1,000. They're ordering a lot of wings. So we're going to set up a cloud kitchen. So I ordered wings last week, and instead of me ordering it from the Wingstop, I didn't even realize I ordered it from DoorDash. And it wasn't Wingstop. They have their own cloud kitchen. What Sandy Monroe and the CEO is trying to do is like put the power back in the local restaurants. Give them these three-wheeler cars. Let them build their own, these restaurants combine and build their own quick little service with these little cars that are inexpensive, electric operated, and you leave them at your store, and they're doing it in one state right now. So there's some truth to it. It's just, I look for what's the next catalyst on this one. Him coming on our show is a big catalyst.
Have you had Wing Snob yet at 12 and Telegraph?
Yes, sir.
Those are the best. Yep.
I talked to that guy about getting a franchise about 2 years ago. But then so then another one, guys, I don't know if you guys are into psychedelics. Spencer always talks about them, so I just don't know if you guys are into them. But I'm just joking, Spencer. Don't write me a note. Symbol.
The complaint box.
My parents listen to me.
Complaint box, Joel. I love it. Okay, so the symbol MMEDF, Mary Edward Dog Fish. Mary Edward Dog Fish. Okay, so I interviewed Kevin O'Leary, the guy from Shark Tank. I'm sure you guys know who he is. What kind of chart is that we're showing? Is there a 5-day? Okay, yeah, you got one. So I bought the stock. I played it as a trade. Again, I went in hardcore. It went up like 25 to 30% on the day of our show. And it was, and if you believe psychedelics can be a thing, which I believe they can, I would say MindMed has room to run. The issue that I wouldn't go hardcore on, like where I'd be careful, look at the stock in October, guys. It was at 50 cents and it hung out 50 cents, September, October, or even before that for months. So could it sell off? Yes. Could insiders sell? They just did $100 million financing. There's some more stuff with this company that I think there'll be good things to come. But, the stock was at 50 cents for a long time. So you got to be careful on these kind of plays. At least I'm careful. Like I would see, Dennis, if it goes to $10, that's awesome. But I'm more scared of it falling. So I don't go big on these positions.
Jason, quick question. Yeah. On that note, on position sizing, how do you control that? Do you have a set a limit, a set amount, a set percentage of your portfolio? Like when you said you were active, does that mean you were just buying a bunch of stocks and you're 1% of your portfolio for all of them, or how do you do that?
Well, so the one that I was like so confident was FUV, and I was just like, so I go bigger on the ones I'm super confident. Like I'm not good at this, by the way. There's probably there are better people at this. Like, so the one that I was most confident probably in the last 3 months was Upwork. All right. And so that was at like 16 or 18 before earnings. And I was very confident they're going to destroy earnings and the stock was going to skyrocket. So I always thought my worst case scenario is it stays the same. My best case, it goes to 25, 26. or, that's what I was thinking. Now it's at 34. But so what I did was, a lot of times, Spencer, I have these high conviction trades and I don't go in large enough. So the day before earnings, I sat back and said, okay, am I comfortable with my position? If it skyrockets, am I going to be mad and do the thing that Dennis and I like to do? Like, I wish we bought more. And
I always wish I bought it more on the winners.
Yeah. Is my video not on, by the way? I don't even see myself.
Yeah, it's on. We got you.
Really? Okay. I guess I'm sparing the ugly alert, so I don't have to see myself. It's good. But so wait, you can go to the chart. So Upwork. So what I did is I looked at that, Spencer, and of course after it happened, I was mad I didn't buy more. So I have a 1 to 4 position thing. So a large conviction or high conviction, I go 4, like that's my high, and then 1 is like a little quick, is where I don't have much conviction. So I'll give you example of that. GAN, it was a 4. It was a high conviction. So far, that conviction is not great. Lithium was a 4 for sure. I own Moderna, whatever. My wife made me buy it. It was like a Lisa, Joel's wife kind of trade. It's a 1. I own very small amounts of it. And that's how I try to do my trades and investments. So I was not doing that before. So when I believe that the odds are on my side or I have high conviction, I go to a 4. The other thing that I recently employed was, if it's a short-term trade, really short. So say I'm buying MindMed, or Yatra, and it's a short-term trade. When I mean short-term, it's like a dentist type trade. Like it's 20 minutes, an hour. Why not go big? What's the worst that could happen? So that's like my logic. Yeah.
The worst that could happen is you can lose your shirt. But
no. So again, I think about that a lot, Spencer, because I was on margin significantly earlier in the week, and I'm like, yeah, there could be something. Or last Friday I was, sorry, and then and I still am a little bit on margin. But what I mean is, for 25 minutes or a half an hour, what are the odds that a lot of bad stuff can happen? There is something. If you take probabilities, take a statistics class. So 1 out of every 30 times, or 1 out of every 1,000 times, something crazy will happen in the next 30 minutes. I don't know. Like when the CEO is on our small cap event, there's a good chance you'll hear some new stuff. I mean, FUV has some real stuff. It really does. The CEO is smart. I mean, he's smart. He got my whole thing. So I've had a theory on Tesla for years that Dennis and Joel disagree on. It's that they're saying that Ford and GM and Chrysler or whatever will be the big players and do electric and do all this stuff. And I'm saying no, because it screws up their whole business. It screws up everything. And the FUV CEO was all over it. He was like, when that pre-call, he was talking about how these big automobile companies, Ford and GM, could have wiped Tesla away 4 years ago. He said it, and he goes, and then I go, well, they didn't, because of the whole thing that it screws up their whole model of service. He's like, yep, that's it. That's the number one thing. And like, most people don't get that part of it. And now maybe they are going to wipe them away and do all the electric stuff like they are with the Corvettes and all that stuff. Then great. I'm just saying, Tesla has $500 billion market cap and never needed to have it. And it's the whole Clayton Christensen innovator's dilemma, the whole thing about, do you innovate and destroy your existing business model or not? And the big automobile companies decided not to, because they have all these dealerships. I mean, I don't know if you saw that. Cadillac, like 300 dealers said, we're not going to move to electric. We're not. And they're like moving away from Cadillac now. It's a whole big thing. Electric screws up the dealership network. So that's why I like the FUV CEO, because he knew how it all worked. Yeah. And that's why I was like, he's going to bust out this call,
All right,
it's a nice looking chart. Like I like the setups when you see a stock have a huge run from like 8 to 20, and then it's pulled back when the consolidation station, and now it looks like it wants to go again. I know nothing about this company, never traded the stock ever before, but just looking at the setup, I kind of like the setup. I kind of like the setup in FUV.
So I would have to get back in. I'm not in it now. Dennis, I realized I did sell every share. I don't know why I did, but I think I was trying to get off margin. That's why I did. It was really hard. I have like some stocks that I really like, guys. And it's like hard. That's the worst. Like when you want to trim some shares and then I trim and they go up 20%. But there was something I was going to say in the market. Oh, this week, I think it was a good week in the market in the sense that there were some up and down days. It wasn't straight up. I mean, this is like what a real market is, right, Dennis?
Oh, a real market. We're still seeing a relentless bull run here, and
okay,
a lot of me is a little bit nervous here on the overall market, just because there's a lot of speculation that we're going to get the Santa Claus rally, and we might. And we probably will, but at the same time, I mean, yeah, markets just don't go straight up, and we've been, very spoiled since March because everything just went straight up. So we've had some pullbacks. I mean, we had a 10% pullback in 4 days in the NASDAQ. So there has been some ugly moments. But overall, it's been a pretty much predominantly up tape. So you're right. Normally you're seeing a lot more chop. Usually, the markets do drift higher over time, over decades, over years. We know the markets tend to drift higher, but usually doesn't go up straight up like it did, especially November and the IWM being up 20%. Just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, but there were some interesting days with Tesla. I mean, so like when it got cracked and then went back up, there were some interesting days there. But I guess that Tesla is a big proportion of my portfolio, so it's I guess when that moves, that my whole thing moves. But I guess I want to give an update on a couple things. So you guys know I own Asana. I sold half the position on Tuesday or Wednesday before earnings because I was nervous that the earnings wouldn't be that strong. And I don't know if it really went down. I mean, it went down a little bit after earnings. Like I saw, but did it go? Wait, it was 33.
Yeah,
what was it?
It got a pop.
28 this morning.
Yeah.
Had a pop and drop on earnings.
So I sold some because I didn't think the earnings would be that strong. Because the thing with like Slack, where I was so confident, but Asana, companies don't absolutely need Asana. They don't absolutely need it. Okay, it doesn't have the network effects that like Slack has, like where people recommend it. And there's competitors called like Notion and stuff. But Asana is moving on speculation that it'll be a next acquisition target. That's what I think. And so I just thought the earnings wouldn't be that strong in the sense that like COVID or a lot of companies going to move to Asana right now. Asana is a learned thing versus a thing that you have to like use, so to speak. And I mean, I still own it, but I sold half the position because I thought the earnings would be weak. A position that I still own, it's up 2.47%. I bought maybe 2 weeks ago is Elastic, ESTC. I own it. I didn't sell anything, and I don't plan on selling anything. So that's ESTC. You can put on the chart if you're controlling that. I just want people to see it. It's a new position that I opened up.
What is that?
It's enterprise search service so Benzinga Pro is moving to Elastic for our search for Benzinga. A lot of companies are using it. It's like a SaaS company for like websites and searching and indexing your whole thing. Think of like Snowflake, but instead of Snowflake, it's more like the search part of it. I truly don't totally understand, but I know we're going to start paying to these guys. And again, like there's an ETF that's there, the Benzinga ETF of all the vendors that we pay. I mean, it's crazy what we pay Datadog, guys. It's crazy. It is absolutely insane what we pay AWS for our hosting. I'll tell you, 2 years ago we were paying like say $8,000 a month. A year ago, $18,000 a month. Our bill this past month was $38,444 for AWS. So, I mean, wow. I don't know how you can short Amazon. I just don't.
Bezos.
What?
It's a damn you, Bezos.
Yeah, exactly. So that was
gets you everywhere. It gets you from
everywhere.
Every angle.
No,
everywhere.
Dennis, I remember when I bought Amazon back. I mean, guys, I sold Amazon at $10. Okay, so I don't like when you just tell all the wins. But I remember when I bought Amazon at $5.40 a while ago, and I'm like, okay, and I bought like a big position, but not that big. Not in hindsight, not big at all. Okay, and actually like a 1 in hindsight. But I was like, this is a no-brainer pick. And then it gets to like 1,200. I'm like, okay, maybe it's going to sell off. But this thing at 3,000, and I can't see a future, Dennis, where we're not dependent on Amazon for everything. Yeah. I don't understand how Walmart doesn't get like 50 of the smartest guys in a room, then hire 50 of the guys from like MIT and build literally the Amazon clone, like does everything, like have third-party vendors sell on it, have every product you ever want on it. I mean, I was at the dentist yesterday, Dennis, and the lady at the registration desk, she has a microphone with a glass to cover her. And it was like a cool little thing. And she's like, yeah, we bought it on Amazon. Everything's on Amazon. Everything. I mean, our hosting's on Amazon. I mean, it is crazy, guys. Okay. All right. So I have that. I still have my 5 below call options for February. I still have my Tesla call options for January.
What are your thoughts on Tesla? I want to stop you on Tesla because you're up so much money. You've been all over this call. It's running. We have the ad coming up next Friday. I believe it will be a topping event for the stock. I don't know what that price is going to be, but I went on the record saying it is going to top out either the day before or the day after, and that's going to be the top for a long time. That's what I think is going to happen because we've had now another 50% run up because of the ad. What are your thoughts here? I mean, on Tesla, you're just going to hold this thing and you think it like now, if you're owning it, you're now of the opinion that it's going to be maybe the most valuable company in the world because there's only 5 companies ahead of it now. So, I mean, I just don't know how it's not priced for perfection at these prices.
Yeah, no. So we'll go. The chat is not like an Amazon, by the way. They don't like the product. They said Walmart's a lot cheaper, and you're getting it from China. Amazon. I don't know. I
own Amazon. It's one of the biggest positions in my portfolio. I think it's going to 5,000 still. So
yeah, I agree.
There's going to be pullbacks. There's going to be opportunities to get back in Amazon. There always is. I still agree with everything that Jason just said about Amazon. I don't see a world without Amazon, and I think it's still the most valuable company in the world
so
for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, and Dennis, you have a couple stocks that you think are going to go to 20 or go to these round numbers that you've been talking about. But so for Tesla, so you guys know I showed you the emails or the text messages from a few months ago when when Tesla was at 3,894 after Battery Day and made that bet that it was going to go to 600 bucks.
Yep.
I mean, that guy thinks it's going to 1,000. Okay. Now, or $800. And I got to get a duration. And is the valuation high? Absolutely. Is it price perfection? Absolutely. You know, some bad stuff comes out, then, you know, like, for example, if they decided that the truck that everyone wants was going to come out early next year, would the stock skyrocket? Probably. This is a story stock. It's kind of like how, you know, the IPO yesterday of 2 days DoorDash. I mean, at that valuation, this is a story stock. So where do I think Tesla's going to end up? I think Tesla's going to end up kind of where it's at right now. I mean, I don't see big gyrations like coming. I don't see it going to 700. So if that's the case, maybe it goes to 550. It's so hard at this point to make predictions on it. I did buy some. What are these things called? Puts or calls? I don't know. Let me see. Or I sold some. So I have the 450 puts. So if it doesn't go to 450 by the end of December, I make, I don't know, $1,000. But so I just think it's like range bound for a bit, unless people want to sell some stuff off. But I don't think they do because of taxes. They don't want to get taxed.
That's a good point there too.
Yeah, they want to move it to next year. So I have a friend who I got in Tesla who has a lot of money and or family has a lot of money, whatever. And he's like, I can't sell it because we already sold some, and it would be too much profit. I have to wait till January 1 to sell some. So I don't.
Maybe that's when it tops out, is right in the early January. You know, that could be the case too. So we have two catalysts here. One is the ads. A lot of people are gonna have to buy the stock, and that's why I've thought that the stock is going to be at all-time highs on the day of that ad. But I do think it could top out then. But then two is right. There's not gonna be a lot of people that want to sell this thing until January 1st. So in any regards, it probably gets a lot tougher for it come January 1st when we get actually to the new year and people can start booking some of these gains. They don't have to pay tax for another year.
Yeah, but they may have to pay a higher tax. I mean, if you want to start talking about the tax,
I'm worried about Biden. And good point there too.
So I'm all.
If you want to sell, you're gonna have to pay your taxes eventually.
Joel, I hear you on that. I'm all over it because I have a call at 11 o'clock with the CPA. We're switching CPAs as a company, and it's not easy to figure this shit out. When I started a company, guys, I thought I'd just like start a company, figure out how to sell a product, make a website. Taxes and this stuff is so confusing. Man. You guys, honestly, I feel like I'm a 12-year-old because I don't understand some basic stuff on these taxes things. I'm not talking about personal taxes. I'm talking about corporate and how that stuff works. Because we're an LLC and how
complicated.
Joel, it's the worst. Honestly, like I'm on the call and I'm asking like the most basic question and they give me some complicated answer. I'm like, guys, I'm 12 years old. Tell me what the answer is to this simple question. I don't want to know about the potential of Biden increasing taxes. Just answer my freaking question. Anyway, and so they're like, well, are you going to sign a contract with us? I'm like, not yet. I don't understand what I'm talking about. But go back to this thing with Biden. I hear you, Joel, but like what Dennis just asked about Tesla, I plan on selling some shares January 1, January 2, January 3. Like Tesla is in my portfolio percentage-wise like 40%, and it's a high position.
It's grown.
Would you ever buy puts or sell calls to protect? I mean, I know you've done it.
Oh, I did, and it was the worst mistake ever. I mean, I was so bad.
Stock is going up. Whenever you're bearish Tesla, or whenever you put a bearish bet on Tesla, it's a mistake.
Dennis, on the afternoon show, it's recorded. It's like on a YouTube video. It's cut on the afternoon show. Luke and my brother-in-law Brent got me to sell 580 call in Tesla for December 18th. They're like, you got it was like the stock was at like 480 then or something. No, I got a $600 call I sold. Anyway, long story short, like 3 days ago, I was down $3,000 on it. I'm like, what the heck? It's at 618, you know? And so the day that they announced the $5 billion offer, my brother-in-law was like, text me, he's like, you should cover your call now. And so for a $3,000 loss, if I would have kept it the next day, it went back below $600. So I didn't need to cover my call then, but I'm never doing that again. I did not like selling a call, because if the stock would have went Joel, if the stock would have went from 654 to 700, I would have been down like 8,000, or not down 8,000, because then I can just get rid of the 100 shares. But I didn't want to get rid of the 100 shares before the new year. So I was like screwed. So yes, I lost $3,200 selling a call for protection, and I'm upset about it. Okay.
The idea maybe is like longer term protection, like leaps. I don't know. It's just an idea.
Yeah, no, that is smart. Like, so that I could do a longer term thing to protect myself if it goes down. That is smart. Like that's what Mark Cuban did. This was the way that Brent was showing me, my brother-in-law. He was saying, Jason, the stock's at 450. It's not going to get to 600 by the end of December. Why don't you sell a couple calls or sell a call and then take a premium of $1,000? He was saying it's like the biggest easy no-brainer thing. Well, that no-brainer of taking $1,000 cost me, like, I don't even know what it cost me. I'm saying 3,000. It may cost a little more. I don't want to look, because that's one of those things where I that's the one thing that I'm bad at. If I have a position that's really down or whatever, I don't want to look. And so because then it doesn't, like, you know, Bitcoin, I bought some at the high in 2017. I didn't log into my Coinbase account for like 2 years.
You can log back in now.
Yeah. I can't get the password to reset though. And you know, so that's what I have going. How's everything with you guys? How's your trading going?
It's still just consistent. So like, we know how I trade. I trade for catalysts. I trade, you know, arbitrage, and I trade news flow. You know, I use Benzinga Pro, but you know, also like
how was the small cap stuff for you? Did it help?
I don't trade small caps.
Okay.
I don't trade much small caps. So no, okay. I trade mostly mega caps, but I trade off I will trade small caps off headlines if there's a headline or something. Offerings. I do the same boring strategies all the time, looking for different things. You know, I'll trade ratings, you know, because I have quantitative approaches to them where a rating's worth a certain amount. But I mean, there's money to be made off trading news. You know, that's why, you know, some people say you can't make money trading off of news. I make money trading off of headlines all the time. You know, it's just about being quick and, you know, looking how to strike. But there's lots of different strategies. You know, I do the swing trades. I've been in the garbage trade as of late in some different stocks, and we've talked about that. This reopening trade has been great for me for the last month. We talked about that, you know, on the show a month ago. And, you know, once the Pfizer vaccine came out, it was this rotation into the reopening stock. So, you know, rotation, arbitrage, headlines, lots of different ways to make money. Small caps has never been my thing. I've never really been into small caps.
Got it. Yeah.
I mean, Jason, did you a while ago you mentioned Disney? I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's the one I wanted to talk about. Thank you, Joel Elconin. I appreciate you, man. Disney. We talked about it. This is another one that Dennis could rally to 200. I bought Disney about 142 and 138. I bought it as a
when I wanted to buy it.
Yes. I've
been talking bullish on it the whole time.
You have. I bought it 2 days. Bought it 2 days before you talked. I think I bought it maybe last or the Friday before. Now, by the way, I did own Disney at $100 when Corona happened, but then I'm like, it's not moving, so I got out of it. So I should have had it. My cost basis should be $100. That's when I originally had it. But I bought it again at 138, 142. And I think it had strong earnings. So I think we're up today, Disney. I see a Tesla chart. Give me Disney. Give me Disney. Come on, where's Disney?
Disney Plus
yeah,
stuff,
took out that
13 points today. Yeah, it's on fire, man.
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about, guys. Just follow me. Let's go. We're at 168. Let's follow me. I'm going to retire on Disney today. Now I can go to Disney for the holidays. I think I may be going to Florida for what?
I averaged down in this thing back in March. I was long from the day they announced Disney Plus, which was like a year. It was April 2019, somewhere in that window. That I bought Disney that day. I averaged down a year later when COVID happened, and I've done nothing since. So
the thing that you could get me on is in the last like 3 months, I've given you 2 buyouts. I bought Dunkin' Donuts, as you guys know, and I bought Slack, and they're both bought out, right? Now I need my third. You know, you need to get to 3. So I'm on the hunt for my third buyout. What?
I said Asana. Asana's definitely.
Oh, Asana's in play to be bought out. I just this company Notion, Spencer, that is a startup-y thing, is doing pretty well. That's what I would say. This company Notion. I don't know. Maybe Benzinga just needs to go public and call it a day and then buy Asana. Like I know. So we had that small cap event, Dennis, and I did the networking thing, and some guy who was like takes companies public. He's like, yeah, we just got to take Benzinga public. Can we do that? He's like, he wants to like take us public like in February. And I'm like, I heard him out.
Can we do it via SPAC though?
Yeah, we want to go via SPAC.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure via SPAC. Hey, I don't want to say the name, but I just talked to one of the SPAC guys that's launching in February. Oh, and then do you guys know the Rush Street Gaming SPAC?
Yeah,
Rush Street Gaming?
DMYT, Jason? Of course
Yes.
we know that one.
Yeah, so like
Mitch mentioned that a while ago.
the CFO is like my second cousin.
Did you know that?
I didn't know it until there was a text message just like from 3 months ago when I was on the airplane back and I was looking at my text. I'm like, shit, I never saw this text. It's like my second cousin once removed. Like, no, I did not know that until like 3 days ago. So yes, DMYT. He'll come on the show. He'll do it. He'll do whatever.
All
Like
right.
it's like he'll do whatever.
Nice
They're
looking
pretty
chart.
big. Yeah, and then there's some interesting SPACs going public in the new year too. So but the thing I always worry about, and I know Promise, is too many companies going public, like how much money, but then you have the stimulus and all that stuff. So guys, the market is the market, but I still think you buy some good companies, you buy Disney, you hold on to it. You buy, I guess I own Penn, I own DraftKings, I own Amazon, I own some GBTC, I own my Mitch Hodge plays, my IMMR, not Mitch Hodge, that's Chris Kaji, sorry. I own SPAC wise, I own PSTH. That's the Bill Ackman.
Yeah.
I own a weird one, SFT. That's another one. Wendy's I own. I mean, and I still own Upwork. I own call options that expire in January at 20. And I own Twilio. Yatra's a different kind of play. Square I still own. So these are just like, I don't know, like it's like a little mixture of stuff, guys, that I'm owning right now. And like I own Google and Apple's, but I don't ever report those. To me, Google owns the world.
All right. We appreciate your time, Jason Raznick. He's the founder and CEO of Benzinga. He joins us every Friday to run through his winners, his losers, and everything in between. Jason.
Yes, I try, guys. I hope you like it. I mean, you can follow me on Twitter at Jason Raznick. Have a great weekend. Joel, I guess you're happy that Michigan got out of the Ohio State game, and we love you all. And tune in.
Still wearing my shirt.
All right,
we won't lose this year. And my
do me
official comment is I have no comment.
Okay, there you go. And do me a favor, watch Joel's show, and I think it's really good. Trader's Journey. We put the link up in the chat. I know Joel won't watch it, so I get it. I don't like watching. I don't like watching myself either. My dad last night, he's like, Jason, you got to watch yourself over. You were looking down too much when I was interviewing Kevin O'Leary, and I really don't like hearing myself, so it's a problem. But I know to be good, you got to do that. And then the last thing I was going to say is I'll be on like at 12:15. We'll keep doing more stuff, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks for having me on, guys. You haven't kicked me off yet, which I appreciate.
Well, now I just did. On the
We already cut the owner off.
No.
I just want to mention, we've got the SPAC Attack show with Mitch and Chris Kachi at 11. I believe the CEO of a couple of SPACs is going to be on the 22nd. It's the tickers are DMYT and DMYD, Delta Mary Yankee Tango, Delta Mary Yankee Delta. And he'll be on. That's on the 22nd. But SPAC Attack's on at 11 o'clock every day. Jason's on after that. And we've got the PM show, 3:40 with Joel and myself. Please remember that all the information and material from our show is meant to be used as informational purposes only, not for investing or trading advice. And the opinions of our hosts and guests do not represent the opinions of Benzinga. Guys, it's 9:20. We went long. That's all right. Any final thoughts, or am I just going to wrap? I think I'm going to wrap it up. I think that'll be it. So everyone,
I'm good.
All right. Have a good rest of your day. We'll be on with you at 3:40. Good luck in your trading. Good luck in your investing, whatever you're doing today. And we'll talk to you again before the close.